Good evening. Welcome to Channel 8 Sports and East Brunswick High School basketball. Hi, I'm John Meggiolaro with Jim Allinder and Phil Hill for tonight's East Brunswick-Woodbridge game. Jimmy, let me turn to you and talk about East Brunswick. 3-7. They came off the St. Joe's loss that we televised last week with the win over Colonia. Big game for them tonight.
Well, it is a big game because it requires that the Bears win their next 5 games in order to qualify for the Central Jersey Group 4 championships. The cutoff date is February 2nd. Phil and I both agree that that is a large thing for them to do. They have to win tonight versus Woodbridge, but they also have to play at Piscataway. They have to play here at Perth Amboy. These are all quality teams, but you know you have to start at some point. It's going to be a tough game, this Woodbridge opponent. East Brunswick opened up with them. They did win by 11, but that's after they were down by 11 points at halftime. A very physical club that Woodbridge is, but East Brunswick is also physical. I talked to Bo Henning, the East Brunswick basketball coach, before this game tonight, and he told me that this team, if it can get its defense together and play as focused as they were against St. Joe's, could be a formidable opponent against anybody they play, including this Woodbridge team tonight. The way they play defensively carries over to what their offense does. Tim Cannon played an excellent game last week. He's doing well. Nick Szymanski, Matt Berliner, and Richie Kutza are doing well off the boards. And they hit a lot of foul shots last week, even though they missed a couple down the stretch. So rather than focus on the negatives of the St. Joe's loss last week, East Brunswick's going to try to put itself together, do as well as they did against Colonia, and perhaps win tonight against Woodbridge.
Okay, and Phil, we look at Woodbridge. They come in with the same 3-7 record. A program that we've seen that's had its ups and downs over the years. Right. Where are they now?
Well, as you pointed out, they're 3-7, but Coach Bill Leahy says they could easily be 7-3. He says the problem with the team is inconsistency, and you witness a victory over Piscataway and coming back that same week and losing against Cerevel. But again, Bill Leahy took Bishop R to the county champions last year. Back home at his alma mater, Woodbridge, excited about being at Woodbridge, talked about Woodbridge playing man-to-man. I don't know the last time we saw a Woodbridge team play man-to-man, and they'll be a scrappy team. They got one senior, they're a very young team, but they're going to be hustling all over the court, and it should be a good game.
Well, it should be that, and that is a good game from East Brunswick High School, and we'll be back with the tip-off in just a moment. Well, as you look in on Coach Bo Henning, we get ready for the start of this East Brunswick-Woodbridge basketball game. Coming to you from East Brunswick High School. East Brunswick in the home green, Woodbridge in the visitors' white.
Interesting that Brandon Hockman is in the starting lineup tonight. Tim Cannon is not.
Well, Bo probably feels he needs more defense here. Hockman, we know, is a great defensive player.
All right, both teams coming in 3-7 as they're ready to face off at center court. Kutza jumps and gets it over to O'Neill. Glover loses it. Oh, knocked away, so it'll stay East Brunswick's way.
And right away, we see Woodbridge Barrons coming out into man-to-man, and I jokingly said at the top of the game, because we haven't, in fact, for years, seen them play man-to-man.
There's a lot of underclassmen on that Woodbridge team.
Hockman inside to Berliner, has trouble holding on to it, stolen by Woodbridge.
It was natural for East Brunswick to start off with Berliner. He's the leading scorer on the team, 11.1, 11.7 per game.
Shot from the outside, Woodbridge won't go, rebound Kutza. Shot was by Mance. Quickly, O'Neill to Glover, he'll take it. Off the iron.
Nobody there for the Bears. This is Quinones, just a sophomore.
Nice move to the hoop, blocked by Kutza.
Another block.
A second one, and a foul will be called inside. Great defense by Rich Kutza.
I'll tell you, 2 consecutive blocks there, and
3, 5, 5.
All right, they say that Berliner I think they caught Mance on the arm, 55. Mike Mance, Bo Henning had a lot of good things to say about Mike Mance.
Well, Mike Mance stands, he's 6'5". Mike Mance has actually been out, hasn't played for a while, out with a groin injury, and this is actually his first game back in some time, but supposedly a fine ball player.
Yeah, it showed on that foul shot. More of a line drive.
And he is a junior.
First period action, no score. As Mance puts on the first point tonight. O'Neal will bring it up for the Bears. Kutza will give it to Hockman. O'Neal looks inside, turn around, Kutza. He's fouled, won't go though.
That's a good strong move by Ritchie. Coming into the game averaging 10.1 points per game, second leading scorer, tied with Timmy Cannon.
And Anthony Caffiaro, wide receiver on that Woodbridge Barron football team, committing the foul there.
Well, there's a few of them on this team.
Kutza will get 2. And ties the game at 1.
And Ritchie, not one of the most confident foul shooters, 39% from the line this year, but
And East Brunswick goes on top, 2-1. Quinones brings it up for the Barrons. They move the ball around fairly well, looking underneath. Shot is good, and that's Whitner.
heck of a football player, Phil.
I'll tell you, two of the finer ones.
3-2 our score.
Robert Edmonds, he's sitting on the bench right
Sitting
now.
on the bench right now.
O'Neal, they're going to call for traveling.
And I'll tell you, Bill Leahy talked about this team, and the word was inconsistency. He says they're, you know, like the little boy with the curl. When they're good, they're good. When they're bad, they're very bad.
Phil, you talked to Leahy before the game. Did he give you any reason why he moved over from Bishop Bar?
Yes, he did. He went home. Woodbridge is his alma mater. He graduated from Woodbridge in 1977, and even while he was at Bishop Bar, he was teaching in Woodbridge at Woodbridge High. So it just made sense for him, and he's glad to be there, glad to accept the challenge.
Shot by Marciniak won't go. Rebound Kutza, and it's back to O'Neal. They find Glover in the corner. East Brunswick playing a perimeter game at the moment. Looking inside for Kutza. Nice move.
Hey, he stuffed that one.
Knocked into Kutza.
That's the first dunk we've seen this year.
First in a long time by an East Brunswick player.
Good defense again by East Brunswick as Berliner comes away on the tip.
Kutza was the tap. Here we go.
We're back at it again. O'Neal the Kutza.
And I tell you, Kevin O'Neal, we didn't say too much about him last game, but to give you an idea what a fine all-around ball player is, he has 37 more assists than the next player.
Yeah. Wow.
Shot, Whitner won't go. Underneath for the layup is Marciniak. Our score 5-6, East Brunswick by 1. Travel against O'Neal.
And what happened with Kevin there is front of a sneaker.
Yeah, caught on the floor.
Caught on the floor and got called for walking.
Okay, got two double 44s coming in here. Looks like Cannon makes his first appearance.
Cannon and Phillips for East Brunswick.
Right, and Edmonds for Woodbridge.
4:40 remaining, first period. East Brunswick on top, 6-5. Both teams came in 3 and 7. Seeing some excellent defense by the Bears. And some exciting offense.
I'll tell you, Edmonds and Berliner are going at it. Edmonds is not afraid to lay the body on Matt, and they've been bumping.
Oh, that's a good matchup there.
O'Neal looking for the alley. He'll get it back to Kutza, and they haven't stopped it yet.
Well, Leahy's going to have to develop something to stop that, no doubt about it. Burn for 6 points.
And another assist by Kevin O'Neal.
Right, Rich Kutza has all 8 points for East Brunswick.
8-5, Bears by 3. Defense there by O'Neal, slaps it away, controls it. Foul underneath.
Now, Quinones made a nice little move to tap that ball away from O'Neal. He looked like he had an uncontested layup. Looks like Marciniak is going to get
Foul
that
is
one.
against Marciniak, his first, as O'Neal will inbound for East Brunswick to Phillips. Back to O'Neal. Berliner on the spin, won't go. Woodbridge comes up with it. Marciniak looking for some help, finally gets it from Edmonds. Knocked away by O'Neal, second time, and they're gonna call him for a travel.
Boy, it makes a nice defensive play, and there's a turnover.
I'll tell you, he's an unselfish player, though. Matter of fact, maybe too unselfish. O'Neal stealing the ball. Another player might have taken it up, but O'Neal looking for the assist, looking to pass it off.
Bears still lead by 3, 8-5. Quinones.
Quinones walked in, no call.
Yeah, really, they got away with that one. East Brunswick taking a lot of chances on defense, Phil.
And it seems to be working. They look much quicker than Woodbridge at the moment. And a timeout, Woodbridge. And let's go in and listen to Coach Bo Henning for East Brunswick.
Right time, number 45.
All right, now, that's where I work on defense. It'll come, Kevin, it'll come. Now, I want everybody working as hard away from the ball as he is on defense. Work that damn hard, okay? In the offensive end, it's very simple. If we have something on the break, great. If we don't have something on the break, let's go 5, right? 5, move the ball around. Their defense will break down. You'll be able to put it inside. We get it inside, they're not raking down quite as much as I thought. Pivot and face, right? Make a strong move to the hoop, okay? Yeah. Yeah, and if the help comes, you're kicking it out, right? Okay? Get out and run offensively, all right? Come on, let's go. Oh, that's the way to work on D. Keep it up on the defensive end. You got a board. You got a board. 1, 2, 3, team.
And John, as you pointed out, Bears are playing good defense. Bo liking the defense. Want a little bit more movement on the ball. If they can get it down, fine. If not, put it up from the outside if they have the open shot. But they're playing good ball right now.
And he had some good things to say about Kevin O'Neal.
Here we go, Kutza by himself. He's fouled. Foul was called on number 22, and that's Frame, Patrick Frame. So Kutza's been running free out there.
He has been very relaxed.
And he'll go to the line. Bears on top, 8-5.
I'll tell you what, if Richie could package that stroke on the foul line, I think he'd get all over his foul shooting woes. That was a perfect shot. Nice and relaxed.
A little short that time. Quinones with the rebound.
Look at the inside work by East Brunswick.
Woodbridge looking for an opportunity. Moving the ball fairly well. But East Brunswick has him pretty well clogged up in the middle.
Great defense by the Bears.
And it's got to be 5 seconds, so he
And
throws
they
it
just
away.
threw it away.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
That defense caused that, no doubt.
Frame, not knowing what to do with the ball, threw it away.
And that was a defensive clinic on that half court.
9-5 is our score. Bears by 4. 2:30 remaining first period. Shot, Cannon won't quite make it. Strong rebound by Edmonds. Quinones.
Quinones, for a sophomore, I'll tell you what, he looks very adept at bringing that ball up.
Not ashamed to put it up. Scored 19 points versus JFK the other night, and see why.
Kutza wants some help outside, gives it to Phillips. Back to Kutza. Looks like Phillips had the shot there, Phil.
I'll tell you, they've become a pass-happy team here, passing up open shots to try to hit the open man.
Berliner comes back in. Szymanski is in for East Brunswick. O'Neal takes a rest. So Hockman will inbound it. Szymanski rolls it in.
Okay, and a player other than Kutza finally scores.
11-7 is our score. Bears by 4, 1:30 remaining. First period from East Brunswick High School. Frame gets back to Marciniak, back to Frame. Shot, Whitner, he's fouled. Basket will count.
I think they're going to call Szymanski on that.
Good going. Foul on 5-0 White. One more.
And you can hear the referee. It is on number 50. That's Szymanski.
And you take a good look at Rashawn Whitner, the 6'1 junior, and he is part of a tandem, Jim, that I believe will probably be easily one of the best in New Jersey between Edmonds and Whitner.
You're talking football now.
Football-wise,
Yeah, right, okay.
what a tandem. Just good, hard-nosed players and contributing here on the basketball team.
You also play a nice brand of defense, too. And we're talking all about the football prowess of these guys. But they wouldn't be on this court if they didn't know how to play basketball, too. Whitner looks a little leaner than I thought he would be.
With the uniform and those large calves, that's all we saw.
Szymanski by himself underneath finally, but couldn't get his hands on it. Cannon is fouled. And
Super that he was able to get that shot off.
And Cannon's just a fine ball player. He's an offensive machine. And last game I tried to talk, Bo was talking about combining bodies. If they could just somehow get some of the kids combined bodies, they would have the ball players they want. Some of the kids play great defense, and some are super on offense.
Marciniak picks up his second foul with 56 seconds remaining in his first period. Bears by 2, now 3, as Cannon makes it 12-9.
Cannon, an excellent foul shooter, shooting 74%. He improved that average mightily last week. He went 7 for 7 against St. Joseph's.
Phillips comes out, O'Neal comes back in. Shot this time won't go for Cannon. Szymanski rebound, he's in traffic, puts it up, won't go. Edmonds pulls it down and Quinones will bring it up. Quinones drives, shot,
Nice
touching
board.
by Edmonds.
Nice board.
I tell you, nice tapping, going to the board strong.
Berliner, Hockman, back to Cannon. O'Neal will stretch it out now with 15 seconds. Looking inside, O'Neal takes it. Won't go for him. Ball still alive. Woodbridge has it with 5 seconds.
Tell you what, East Brunswick, they're not going to get...
Whitner. Off the rim.
I thought they were not going to get that shot off. East Brunswick was fortunate on that side there. I thought that Kutza went over the top. But nonetheless, John.
Well, we're at the end of one, and East Brunswick's on top, 12-11. And pretty much how we saw it coming in.
I think what we got to find out for the Bears, they got to get a little more balanced scoring, get more people to touch the ball. The Barrons just chipping away, and they're right back in this game here.
Yeah, you're right. Richie Kutza is the leading scorer for the Bears with 9 points. Only Szymanski with a bucket there. And Cannon converting 1 foul shot. That's been the scoring for the Bears. Meanwhile, Quinones has a bucket. Marciniak has a bucket. Edmonds scored once. Rashawn Whitner has 4 points. And then Mance has 1 point on a foul shot. So there's a little more even distribution of scoring for the Barrons.
Well, we'll get ready for this second period as the team comes back out onto the court.
Congratulations to the East Brunswick boys junior varsity, which is 11-1 now, with a victory over the Woodbridge junior varsity. I'm sorry, I don't have the score.
I'll tell you one thing. We don't talk about him a whole lot, but Keith Lane does an awfully good job year in, year out with the JV team, no matter who he has.
All right, Woodbridge will put it in play to start this second period. They trail by 1. That's Whitner with the ball. Gives it down low to Edmonds. To White. White will try the baseline. And is fouled by Berliner.
I'll tell you, nice, strong move by the young man going to the basket there and drawing the foul.
White will move to the line, try to tie this game up with one shot and put Woodbridge in the lead with the second. And he ties it.
And Earl White, at 6'2", is the lone senior for this Barron team. Everyone else will be coming back.
Phil, as I watched Woodbridge's first period, I see a lot of talent. They need some of the sophistication of basketball, the mechanics.
And with Bill Leahy, you better believe they'll develop it.
Cannon, move to the basket, foul. Should be on White. Now they're calling it on Mance.
I'll tell you, just a strong move by Cannon as well. Two strong moves on each end of the court. Going to the basket there, and Cannon will shoot for the 2.
He ties it at 13. And puts the Bears on top by 1. 14-13 is our score. 7:30 remaining before halftime. Bears by 1 over Woodbridge. Looking inside for Edmonds, knocked away. O'Neal quickly to Kutza. Stuff.
You gotta like it.
That was pretty.
Second one of the evening, brings the crowd to its feet. Looking inside again for Edmonds,
Boy,
stolen
I'll tell
away.
you what, great defensive play by Kutza.
O'Neal.
He's playing a great game out there.
Hockman now, three-pointer. He's fouled. Fouled by Quinones.
Let's see if he gets 3. Yes, he will. He will get 3 shots.
I'll tell you, it could have easily been a four-point play if he would have made it. As you point out, gentlemen, he will shoot for 3 fouls.
So let's see. That's Quinones' first foul. East Brunswick very successful from the line thus far tonight. 7 for 9 already.
As we see Hockman at the line, shooting 3. Let me ask you, what do you think about that rule that you shoot 3?
I think it adds a little excitement to the game and makes you a little more cautious about just hacking at people who are going for the three-pointer there. As Brandon missed that one, has one more to go, but Brandon, a fine soccer player, part of the conference champion Bear soccer team.
Excuse me, that was I was wrong on what the foul shooting. It's 8 for 11 right now with the conversion of 2 out of 3.
Bears increased their lead by 5, 18-13. And the ball thrown away by Woodbridge.
The ball thrown away, a little pressure by the Bears, though.
And looks like Whitner just took his eye off the ball.
Szymanski needs some help, finds it in Kutza.
And Barrons contend to stay in the man-to-man.
Glover with the ball. Nice move inside to Szymanski. Hockman now looks for Kutza in the lane, spins, and he's fouled.
He's got the strong move to the basket.
And Earl White seems to think he had part of the ball.
And it will be called on White.
All right, that's a 7th team foul. So in the event it's a non-shooting, non-shooting foul, East Brunswick would go to the line on a 1-on-1. This is a 2-shot foul. 12th time East Brunswick has gone to the line.
Kutza misses, he'll get another.
And I'll tell you how good a player is Kutza. Last year he was voted the MVP. And here he is his senior year, captain for this team, and wants to make it a good year.
Makes it 19-13, Bears by 6. And they're pressing.
12 points for Richie. That's above his season's average.
Quinones down the lane to Edmonds. Too strong, and there's Kutza. It'll be a jump ball, and it'll go East Brunswick's way.
Well, East Brunswick seems to be stretching its margin now a little bit. The 6-point lead.
Well, certainly the press is bothering Woodbridge on offense. Inside, O'Neill looks for Cannon. He's got him, uses the glass.
Good height advantage over top of Marciniak.
Timmy Cannon.
Foul called against Kutza.
Well, it is Richie's first foul. And I suppose if there's a give-up foul, that might be it.
Bears by 8 as Quinones brings it up for Woodbridge. 21-13 the score, 5:50 remaining in the second period.
That's tough defense.
Glover all over the man, and a travel is called,
I think,
against Marciniak.
Again, defense was the reason for that.
O'Neill finds Szymanski, turn around, a little strong. Quinones will bring it up. Nowhere to go, he'll bring it back out as that defense just closes right down. Edmonds inside.
Whoa!
And he makes it, and a foul is going to be on Cannon.
Strong move by Edmonds.
It is
there.
strong. He has such natural athletic ability. You could see just by the quickness with which he turned.
And take a good look at the 6'3" junior.
Yeah, Phil, they have him at 210. I mean, I'm sure he's that. He doesn't appear at
He's at least 210.
He's an all-county player last year, and I expect him to do even much better next year. That's in football game, but just a fine out all-around athlete.
Okay, we're seeing Justin Harper come into the game.
As Szymanski takes a break. Harper, number 51. Quickly down court. O'Neill to Cannon, a charge.
So Cannon picks up 2 quick fouls. One on the defensive board and now one on this end.
And Quinones taking the charge there.
(21-15). Clock moving down. Second period action. Bears by 6. There's Edmonds underneath. Won't go this time. White on the follow-up. He's fouled.
I think Beck.
Foul against Harper.
Phil, it appears that Woodbridge does not have any reliable outside shooter. They don't seem to want to put the ball up from the outside perimeter. At
You're
least.
right. Quinones, they tell me, can put it up from the outside, but they do appear to like to drive a lot and try to get it up among the trees, and that's not the thing to do against this Bear team. The Bear team is clearly tough down low, and
So they're playing to East Brunswick's strength thus far.
White showing a nice touch from the line. Makes it 21-17. East Brunswick's lead cut to 4.
Got to get it across.
Glover to O'Neill, looking underneath for Kutza. Puts it back out to Glover. He'll take the shot off the rim. White, he's traveled. So turnovers are really hurting Woodbridge.
really hurting that. And again, with the young team, you can expect that. This is a young team, and Coach Bill Leahy talked about that, just making too many mistakes, and we're seeing it here.
Eric Phillips now in the game. He'll take the shot, left-handed. Edmonds pulls it down.
This zone that Woodbridge is using now is forcing East Brunswick to use to cut off Kutza and use its outside guards to shoot.
Inside, Edmonds finds it tough going. Ball still alive. Won't go from Insiniak, and Glover with the rebound.
Ooh.
Phillips.
Called a blocking foul on Quinones. He paid for it, too.
I think you're right. Could have went both ways. Quinones already has drawn 2 offensive fouls, trying to draw a 3rd one, but called for the foul himself.
Now that should be, yeah, that's a 2-shot foul.
Eric Phillips will move to the line. He'll shoot 2.
And Phillips made 2 great pressure foul shots against St. Joe's.
Yes, he did.
Still having somewhat of a problem from the line. As he looks at East Brunswick score.
Okay, Phillips, the 69% free throw shooter, missing both.
They just have to put him on the line with about 5 seconds left in the game. The game on the line for him to put him in.
Woodbridge.
Good block.
Good block
Glover.
this time by Glover. And it goes Woodbridge's way.
I'm not sure the official saw that and just chanced to call, because that definitely went off 45.
Barrons looking to get something going here. They've had a difficult time with the East Brunswick defense. And there's another knockaway, but somehow they come up with it. And Edmonds gets it in.
He really shows nice versatility underneath. Good touch.
6 points for Edmonds.
3:10 remaining, 2nd period. Bears leading by 2, 21-19.
You see that zone, Phil?
Right, they
Harper
found
has
two-
it taken away by
2-1-2.
White. White leans into it, but gets nothing for it.
Just a bad shot.
O'Neal looking for Glover. And it's nice play by Glover to knock it off Quinones. Beck coming in, number 41. First time we've seen him tonight. Hockman back in.
And Harper coming out. He looks a little winded.
Cannon. I'm sorry, that was Beck inside.
Now back to a man.
There's Kutza. Foul, no call.
And as soon as Woodbridge goes to the man, they look for Kutza inside.
That's right. You're right on it, Jim.
Woodbridge can tie this game.
Nice hustle.
Great defense there by Hockman. The ball will go over to East Brunswick with 2:25 remaining. White's there again with his good defense.
Oh,
Did he just slip?
He lost his footing.
O'Neal.
Is he okay? Well, he's limping a little bit.
Oh, and the
And
offensive
Phillips on the
foul.
charge.
You know,
Had 2 men on each on the wing.
not a nice sequence here.
Player on each side.
White walking a little gingerly on that foot.
Foot just went out from under him, Jim.
So Woodbridge will try to get it going once again. They're still only down by 2 as White puts it up. Won't go for him. Kutza rolls off the back of Whitner.
And grabs a one-hand rebound.
Phillips inside to Kutzner.
Got away with a walk there.
Yeah. He was running home. 1:35, clock ticking down. Second period action. Hockman drives, gives it to Phillips.
East Brunswick in quite a dry stretch here. They've gone almost 6 minutes with just Kutza converting 1 of 2 foul shots. Other than that,
Double dribble.
And he knew it.
Actually discontinued.
Whitner now will move down court. Marciniak will bring it up. And White, who's had a rough time, has another bad bit of luck as the ball goes in and out. So the Bears remain on top, 21-19. Inside a minute before halftime. O'Neal. Phillips looking. They're playing for that last shot. Beck having a little trouble, has it knocked away. Still East Brunswick ball, 24 seconds showing.
Okay, as you point out, they're looking for that last shot, and you can look for the ball to go into Kutz's hands to put up the last shot.
15 seconds. Hockman looks in the middle, no one there.
Trying to hit Kutza.
And East Brunswick caught
Quick
now.
break, Whitner. We're tied at 21, 2 seconds, and that'll do it. So East Brunswick, when they had the lead, unable to hold on to it as we get to halftime, and we're tied at 21.
Well, East Brunswick had a 21-13 lead there with about 7 minutes. I checked the clock, and they pretty much went for the rest of the quarter without scoring.
I think you're right, Jim. If you coach Bill Leahy, you got to be pleased that your team has come up and tied this game in half. And if you're Bohannon, you can't be too pleased because they, quite frankly, they got sloppy as time was running out. And they got to go back in, gather their composure, get more people touching the ball, and create more balance.
Yeah, one other thing is the switching that Woodbridge is doing with its defense, going from a man-to-man to a 1-3-1 zone or a 1-2-2 zone, whatever. It's causing problems for East Brunswick.
Well, somewhat of a disappointment, or at least a disappointing note to end the first half on. East Brunswick with the lead, only to see Woodbridge come back and tie it. But there's still another half to go, and we'll carry that action. But at this time, we understand that there's a ceremony that will be taking place out at center court, and that is to honor the East Brunswick High School boys soccer team, who were the 1992 GMC tournament champions. The Bears this year finished with a 12-5-1 record and won their 5th GMC or county championship. So to Coach Dan Hastings and his staff, we offer our congratulations. We're now waiting for the young men to come out and receive their awards.
And I'll tell you what, one of the brightest moments for East Brunswick soccer in quite a long time was that GMC victory over St. Joseph's. I believe it was by a 3-2 score in overtime, and just a great, great win. Dan Hastings actually gave me a telephone call to let me know that his team had prevailed over St. Joe's. There's been a great rivalry, as we know, with the basketball program. So tremendous accomplishment for this team.
Well, you see Dan Hastings, the coach there in the green and purple warm-up jacket. That's he on the left. And his players coming out, and Brad Hockman being one of them. I'm not sure what order he's in, or rather the players are in. So we'll do our best to try to pick that up. But as you see them, I will read down the list for you of the team players. Eric Albrecht, David Barrett, Mitchell Brown, Mattia Bofolino, Joseph Condorso, Richard de Guzman, John Dickinson, Jared Forma, Jamie Foreman, Brian Ho, Brandon Hockman, Elisa Lesnick, who was the manager, or one of the managers, Joseph Merkel, Brooke Seligman, another manager for the team, Craig Slater, Justin Smutko, Michael Toth, David Eunice, and E.J. Zafarowski.
And you notice that some of them are already wearing their GMC championship jackets.
I'll tell you, nice jackets, too.
They are. Anytime you can put championship on those jackets, they look good.
And you see director or supervisor of athletics, Frank Knoppenberger, handing out the plaques and awards to the team.
A lot of quality players on this team, a number of which I think are going to go on to play college soccer, John. One, possibly Eric Albrecht, I know. This young man is one of the top students in his class. He is a second-degree black belt in karate, taekwondo.
Ooh, mercy.
He has his choice of going to either Princeton, Harvard, or Yale, and he's going to major in pre-med. How would you like to have a son like that?
Phil had those choices,
I certainly did.
and look where it got him.
Cut the grass.
But a lot of dedicated players, all of which have come from that excellent East Brunswick recreation program.
And we do need to recognize Coach Dan Hastine. I mean, quietly in his own way, year after year, putting out a quality product.
That's for sure.
And you see some of the results of his hard work and effort in maintaining really what has been a strong soccer tradition here in East Brunswick and throughout the state.
Well, I think it would be fair to say that they sometimes get a little overshadowed by the girls soccer team, which has had its own brand of success, winning the Group 4 championship this year.
But for consistency, you can't argue with them. The boys do just as well. The fact of the matter is East Brunswick is recognized as probably the soccer central of New Jersey, without a doubt.
Well, as we take a little break here before we start the second half, we invite you at home to stay tuned and watch this outstanding East Brunswick High School cheerleading team. Well, we welcome you back from those halftime activities. Hope you enjoyed them. Jimmy, you have some scoring highlights.
Well, as we mentioned, Richie Kutz, far and away the leading scorer for East Brunswick with 12 points. Szymanski added 2. Timmy Cannon had 5 points. Brandon Hockman 2 points on 2 foul shots. Again, the scoring for Woodbridge pretty evenly distributed. Edmonds and Whitner both with 6. Nance with a single point. Earl White 4 foul shots for 4 points. Marciniak 2 and Quinones 2.
Well, we're tied at 21 as we start the third period.
Okay, and the Bears are pressing all over the court. I think both teams are going to turn it up a little bit.
Quinones with the ball. Looking underneath. And another, close to being another turnover for Woodbridge.
They were looking for Edmonds on that one.
And Cannon actually touched it,
Yeah.
but...
No, he knocked it off of...
That's Whitner.
Yeah, Whitner.
Cannon, three-pointer by himself. Overshoots it. And the Barrons starting to run a little bit as they look for Edmonds coming down the court.
And a blocking foul.
And they're going to get it.
And I think this is Edmonds' third attempt at a three-point play.
Foul is on Berliner.
So Matt immediately picks up his third foul. That's not good for the Bears. Looks like Edmonds is starting to assert himself inside. So he misses again.
Cannon gives it to O'Neal. O'Neal will set things up. Cannon, I guess, got the go-ahead to give the three-pointer a shot.
Well, East Brunswick down by 2. Again, we can't overemphasize the importance that the Bears have to win this game tonight to stay alive for a shot at the Central Jersey Group 4 qualifications.
Jim, what's the deadline for that?
February 2nd.
And what's required to get in?
You need a 500 record, or better, obviously.
And just a fine move by Kevin O'Neal, driving to the basket there, putting it up.
So by next week, East Brunswick will know or not whether they're in the tournament as Quinones throws one up. We're tied at 23. I'm sorry, Woodbridge on top, 25-23.
Well, John, to answer your question, they'll know before that if they lose a game, because if they lose one game, they're out.
Cannon looking, gives it to O'Neal inside. Berliner spins over Edmonds, just won't drop, but Cannon's there on the rebound. Has it knocked away by Edmonds.
And a couple fine defensive efforts there, and you see big Mike Mance coming back in the game, and Edmonds will take
I'm surprised.
a breather.
I'm surprised. Unless he is tired. I thought Edmonds was the difference so far.
The half just started, Jim.
Kutza. Inside, Berliner, same move, he's fouled. Mance will pick up the foul.
And a good strong move by Matt Berliner.
Matt Berliner, the leading scorer for this East Brunswick team, coming in and blank so far.
And he's played some good games for the Bears. Last year he was an all-tournament, made the all-tournament team for the Eastern States, and also participated in the 1992 Garden State Games.
This is the first. Still can put East Brunswick within 1. Short that time, ball's up for grabs, and Glover's got it.
Well, he's having his problems tonight.
Kutza along the baseline,
wow.
left-handed.
Left-hander, too. I'll tell you what, he just shows me so much.
And defense.
When he can get loose, Richie Kutza, you know, Phil, I definitely think he has an opportunity to play in college. I really do.
I certainly believe he has an opportunity to play in college.
Well, you can never fault or question his hustle. Whitner in and out. Cannon secures it for East Brunswick as O'Neal brings it quickly down to Glover. Looking inside to Kutza. A foul is going to be called. Foul will be on 45, Kefaria.
And Jim, a number of players out here certainly can play for colleges. A number of colleges out there. Reading last week, Mike Reisner is up in Springfield in Massachusetts and playing well for them. And you're right, Kutza certainly has much ability.
And there he is, speaking of Rich Kutza on the backdoor play.
And they're sleeping on that. Press immediately.
Whitner pulls up.
So East Brunswick's back on top, John.
27-25, Bears by 2, and a turnover by Woodbridge.
And this is a lapse. And Edmonds comes in again. As well he should. Ever since he exited the game, they really lost their offensive flow.
Well, Leahy trying to work Mance back in. As I said, this is his first game back since an early season injury. And
looking for Berliner, hasn't trouble controlling it, but they're going to call a foul on Quinones, I believe.
Berliner took a sharp one to the nose there.
Well, you can't help but notice the fine inside passes by O'Neal before he got that one into Richie Kutza for that left-handed layup, and then this one right here, which caused a foul. And Quinones with his 3rd foul.
Berliner loses the handle, saved by Glover, but right to Woodbridge. Marciniak to Whitner. He'll take it. Strong. Gets his own rebound. And Quinones, a 3-pointer. Short. But Edmonds on the follow-up, won't go. And Berliner puts some mitts on it finally.
And Whitner all over the place.
All right, they got an advantage here.
Bears by.
I'll tell you, Berliner just threw one on Whitner there, and
O'Neal, short. Quinones, take it himself.
Ooh, nice shot.
We're tied at 27.
No harm, no foul.
Well, this game is picked up.
Well, it's certainly gotten much more physical. We kind of expected that at the outset. They were kind of playing polite basketball. Edmonds called for reaching in.
I'll tell you, they got him reaching over, and if you coach Bill Leahy, you're wondering why the foul earlier wasn't called down. Berliner coming down and really laid one on Whitner. No call. Berliner takes a rest right now.
Matt Berliner having a difficult time tonight. No points, 3 fouls.
Szymanski in for Berliner. Looking underneath, that's Szymanski, turns around, short, Edmonds, and he's starting to become a force in this game, Phil. Woodbridge slows it down just a bit. Cafiera gives it to Edmonds. Knocked away. Quinones will set things up. Stolen by Kutza.
Who else?
And we're looking for a call. It goes to Woodbridge.
Well, Richie took a chance by not going after that. He should know better. Officials don't necessarily have the best vantage point. And that ball is called off Richie Kutza.
Some wholesale changes now.
Now you got-
Betrowitz comes in.
All right, Brian Betrowitz. Kutza takes a rest.
Hockman in with Phillips.
This is a precarious time for East Brunswick.
White along the baseline, foul against Szymanski.
And Earl White not shy about driving to the basket, always coming up with some sort of acrobatic move.
So I can't imagine that Kutz is going to stay out of this game for any length of time. He seems to be the only offensive spark. Him and O'Neal have a nice connection going there.
We're tied at 27. White goes to the line.
White's already hit 4 foul shots, free throws.
A little strong there. Well, both teams came in with a 3-7 record. Jimmy already pointed out the fact that both teams need this game if they have any hope of moving into the tournament play.
Two important misses by the by White.
Phillips drives, looks underneath. Szymanski brings it out to Cannon. Cannon drives in the lane, yes.
Somehow finds it.
Timmy Cannon not shy at all.
29-27, Bears by 2.
He's the only one that's been scoring besides Kutza.
And they're gonna call traveling.
And a
And
nice
that's
job.
on Marciniak.
Nice job by Tim Cannon. The Bears back to man and putting the pressure on, forcing the turnover.
Clock down to 3 minutes, remaining third period. Bears on top by 2, 29-27. Phillips will give it to Cannon.
Barrons in man-to-man.
Hockman into Szymanski, he'll put it up, short. Cannon, rebound, he's fouled. Whitner on the foul.
And Whitner looking as if I had all ball, but the official right there.
White 3-0. White 3-0.
So Cannon will go to the line, he'll take 2. Finds the net on the first.
Cannon is 3 for 4. Excuse me, 4 for 5 from the line.
Short. Ball still alive. Marciniak pulls it down for Woodbridge.
I tell you, just battling for that ball.
White from the outside, off the rim. Whitner keeps it alive. Gets it out to Quinones, 3-pointer. Short again. Follows up on his own rebound. And White comes out of nowhere, but a foul will be called. against Szymanski.
They got him on a push.
And Bill Lee keeps his cool. Canonis appear to be just throwing him up, not touching any metal. And Leahy hasn't said a word.
He's supposed to be fortunate that that is not called a shooting foul. I thought that Edmonds had, Whitmer was going up. So now O'Neal and puts a return after about a minute rest.
Marciniak needs to get it somewhere. He does to White. Whitner can't follow, but there's Edmonds.
He has 10 points. Now the leading scorer for Woodbridge.
Hockman, nice play to save it, but it goes right to Marciniak. To White, blocked by Kutza.
And he gets his own block. Wow. I'm telling you, he is a force out here tonight.
Kutza playing a whale of a game.
Kutza with the ball, has trouble controlling it. Goes over to Woodbridge. They got a 3-on-2. White will take it. And they go on top, 31-30.
Both teams starting to run with the ball.
It's getting wild and wacky. Cross court, O'Neal by himself, three-pointer. Way short. And Quinones quickly. He'll drive it. He'll miss it. And Phillips will take the rebound. Hockman across to Phillips.
There he is.
Yes.
Kutza. Always moving.
18 points for Richie Kutza. Far and away the leading scorer in this game for both teams.
He traveled.
He traveled. White, they caught him. Bears on top, 32-31, 29 seconds remaining, third period.
And the Barrons pull the pressure back. And still in man-to-man.
O'Neal to Berchowitz. Hockman to Cannon. Cannon, no foul, no shot. They're gonna call a foul on, I think, Whitner. I believe that's his third. That's his first.
That is not a shooting foul. So they should not be going to the line on this.
And they're not, they're setting it up underneath. Kutza, Ventrowitz, Cannon, out of nowhere.
Timmy Cannon.
34-31, Bears by 3.
Went off O'Neal's foot. No, went off O'Neal's foot. Good call.
And a timeout will be taken by Woodbridge.
No timeout.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's the end of the period.
Yeah, the buzzer just went off at the last second here.
So at the end of 3, it's 34-31, Bears by 3. Let's listen in to Bo Henning. Still some confusion on the court.
We run invert, right? And the ball gets swung. Here's where everybody should be. We just swung it from here to here, okay? The postman, that screen down. You gotta come high, so we got high-low, right? The other guards stay out of that area. Just exchange with the other guard, okay? After we swing the ball.
Do you want us, if the guard's down low, do you want us to pick up top like you told us in practice?
If the guard is what? Okay, all right. The next foul shot we shoot is 54 defense, 54D, okay? Puts you back, okay? All right, let's go, come on. Get back on defense on a miss. 1, 2, 3, team.
Okay, limited instructions there. I'll tell you, we're not quite sure of the terminology and whatnot, but Bo just talking X's and O's, and basically. Talking strategy.
Well, I believe Woodbridge gets the inbounds here.
Apparently there's some water or perspiration on the court, so they're going to wipe it up.
Well, we saw a white slip early on. That was on the other end of the court. The foul line is usually a place where the player is waiting to take a foul shot. The sweat will drip down on the floor.
It's very rarely that you see two coaches out there to make sure that the sweat is up.
I think Bo Henning needs to hire another manager instead of doing it himself.
And I think we're about ready to go. Housekeeping is all in order.
You know, I think these guys know each other very well. You know, Bo Henning, before he came to East Brunswick, was with John F. Kennedy in Island, part of the Woodbridge School District.
Right.
So these boys go back.
And Bill Leahy says as much.
O'Neal somehow gets it in. Ball still bouncing around.
Terrific move.
Kutza is fouled by Edmonds.
He does so much in the air. So Edmonds is going to get his second here.
It should be his second. Yes, it is. And Kutza goes to the line.
And you're right, he does so much in his all-around game. Was the leading rebounder last year, second leading scorer, and led the team in block shots as well. So he is Mr. Versatile, even though he missed that one.
Well, I think the nice thing to see when we look at Rich Kutza is the improvement over the last 2 years. He's really come into his own this year. And I agree, Jim. I think he could play at some college, certainly.
Well, he makes his one of 2 foul shots that puts him 6 for 10 on the foul line tonight.
East Brunswick pressing, trying to break this game wide open. There's Edmonds by himself.
Okay.
Nice feed.
And you got to give the Barrons a lot of credit. Broke the press very nicely, got the ball inside and put it up for 2.
35-33, the Bears by 2.
That's Edmonds' 12th point.
We're in the 4th period.
Boy, they collapsed, don't they? Look at it on the side.
Cannon finally gets it out. Ball moved around to Hockman, now back to O'Neal. Hockman will put it up. Strong. And Cannon's going to be called for reaching over.
3rd foul on Timmy and 14th foul.
3rd on Cannon. 7 minutes remaining in the game. East Brunswick pulls the press back now. Quinones pumps it in. We're tied at 35.
He has that unorthodox off-balance shot that somehow finds its way.
8 points for Carlos Quinones.
Underneath. Kutza.
Ooh, he's hammered.
Was hammered.
Wow.
I can't believe they didn't call that. And Bo Henning is irate at the official.
Quinones looks Kutza on the steal.
3-on-1. Nope, they're going to slow it up.
Has it knocked away. He gets it back.
Oh, wow.
Starting to look a little bit like playground time. And Bo wants a timeout.
And Bo's seems to be a little concerned right here. Called that timeout. Have to check to see how many he had left.
I think Kutza needs to look at his limbs to see if they're hanging on after that foul that was not called.
All right, let's listen in on Bo.
Okay. Chalk won't work on that. So Kareem goes down here. Timmy out front, right? O out front. Let's keep Richie there. Now see what happens when Richie was very active there, okay? We were able to go diagonal because he's moving. Kareem, same thing with you. Ball's here, in here. Ball gets swung, get right out, okay? All right, now let's get some stops on the defensive end, see if we can't push for a layup. No 54. 54 is off.
Come on now. Tough D now.
Okay,
I know what you're feeling, Phil. He's really not saying too much.
No, well, he's saying enough. His team knows his terminology. He did say, let's get some stops on the defensive end, and
that's what they're going to do. We're tied at 35. Whitner.
Oh, I thought
a little
I thought
slide
he walked.
there. Quinones. And Quinones has come to life this last few minutes anyway.
And that is just a 2-pointer. Thought it was a 3, but boy, you talk about a back and forth game here.
Szymanski muscling his way in the lane.
ooh, good move.
Takes the bucket. Tied at 37.
Important basket for East Brunswick. He really needed 2 points there.
5:40 remaining in this game. Woodbridge and East Brunswick matched up fairly well tonight. Quinones,
That's short.
and it's off East Brunswick.
And if Quinones could get a point for every time he came up short, he'd have considerable amounts of points tonight.
Almost a steal by O'Neal.
O'Neal playing great defense. Ball's inside. Going to travel. Is going to be called against Cafiera. And so the Bears will look to take the lead once again. We're tied at 37. 5:15 remaining.
Nice D.
Pressure by Woodbridge. Kutza being shadowed. But Glover's all by himself. He won't take it. Can and will. Hasn't made one yet. Kutza takes the rebound. Quinones knocks it away.
You know, Phil, when Woodbridge goes to the man-to-man, I just think that East Brunswick should just clear out the side and let Richie go by himself.
Take it by himself. They have taken advantage of it much of the game.
Good defense by Woodbridge as White pulls it down.
Well, this game very much in doubt now. Low scoring, 37 all.
Marciniak looking for Edmonds. He'll put it up. He'll make the basket.
Great shot.
39-37.
14 points for Robert Edmonds.
Bears trail by 2. Inside Kutza. Up and over White, and it goes.
I'll tell you.
How did it go in?
That ball just crawled up over the rim. Just a fine move there. Just crawled up and in.
And I'll tell you, Phil, White couldn't have covered him any better.
Any better.
He nudged him outside the lane, and Richie somehow put some legs on that basketball.
22 points for Rich Kutza, going for his 23rd tonight.
Sometimes it just rolls for you. So we stay tied at 39.
And Edmonds with the big rebound.
Quinones finds Marciniak. He'll take it in short, and he's fouled by Glover.
Well, the problem was he got his own rebound.
I guess there's no longer a requirement for the player committing the foul to raise his hand. I guess that went out a while ago.
What, are you just noticing, John?
No, I...
Oh, well. One of the more subtleties, I guess, of the game.
And you look.
Well, there may be someone out there realizing like I that they don't do it anymore.
And you take a look at David Marciniak, 6-foot sophomore, and his father happens to be the coach of the freshman team for the Woodbridge Barrons.
Well, Marciniak puts him within one of being tied once again. We have 4 minutes remaining in the game. And we're tied at 40. I'm sorry, puts Woodbridge on top, 41-39 by 2. O'Neal.
Brunswick, again, needing a basket here.
He's all over Glover.
Glover finally finds O'Neal. They're looking for Berliner.
Well, O'Neal tried to get it into to Matt. Ball tipped away.
Edmonds knocks it away. Puts a cannon, three-pointer. Misses. Glover on a rebound, won't go. Edmonds has it knocked away. But Whitner will control it for Woodbridge. They lead by 2, 41-39. 3:25 remaining in the game.
Well, each possession now is going to be important.
White.
Kutza.
Blocked by Kutza.
Whoa!
Oh, mercy.
No one able to hang on to the ball at that point.
Good hustle all over the court.
Timeout, Woodbridge.
And Woodbridge calls timeout as we take a good look at the Woodbridge bench. And Coach Bill Leahy, you said earlier, John, that these guys look like they were friends, Bo Henning and Bill Leahy. They both also coached their golf teams. And so, you know, as much discussion goes on the links there, they've certainly become good friends in addition to, as was pointed out earlier, Bo Henning coaching for JFK in Woodbridge before. But Bill Leahy, as you take a look at him, says, I asked him, was it difficult for him to make the move to come to Woodbridge? And he said, not at all. After all, he graduated from Woodbridge in '77. He's coming back home. He said when he's coming here to Woodbridge to do the same thing that he did with Bishop R. When he went to Bishop R, their program was down, and he hopes, and he brought him up. He hopes to do the same thing here at Woodbridge.
Well, so far he's got his team on top, 41-39.
Well, I do remember that 1975 team that did win the state championship for Woodbridge. I don't know if you remember, Phil.
A super team.
Mark Dodonna?
Okay, right.
Well, we can go on. There's a bunch of them. But that was a great team that year.
Clock moving against East Brunswick as Woodbridge is on top. White will put it up. Off the rim, rebound
Big
Cannon,
rebound.
and he's
Big
fouled
rebound.
by Whitner.
I'll tell you, big rebound by Tim Cannon, going up strong.
And Cannon is not the one you want to foul for East Brunswick. He is the most effective foul shooter on the team, the regular player anyway. Tonight he is 4 for 6 from the line, and now he has a couple of important shots to make.
And he's been a pleasant surprise for Bo Henning. Is probably second on the team in scoring.
Well, he was the leading scorer in the junior varsity last year. And he makes it.
Puts East Brunswick within 1. We've got 3 minutes remaining in this game. Cannon can tie it at 41. And he does.
It's a nice little roll there. Timmy Cannon has 12 points, half of them on the foul line.
Great hustle by O'Neal.
And
Knocks it away.
He's been hustling all night.
All night. I can't say enough about Kevin O'Neal. He's just giving all he has.
Every possession now becomes that much more valuable. Clock ticks down to 2:40. Quinones puts it up. Edmonds, Berliner, finally Cannon grabs it. And he'll give it to O'Neal. Glover, a little strong. Cannon has it knocked away. Left-handed, won't go. Foul.
I think they're going to get White.
And it is.
Timmy Cannon with that extra effort. Got the shot, and then he got fouled.
Bonus situation. 4 fouls on White.
And gentlemen, it seems to me the last time we were here, it was foul shots going down the stretch that made all the difference, and we'll see what happens here.
Now this is a one-on-one, or is it?
Yes, it is.
All right, the officials do not allow the substitution.
So White will stay in under the boards. As Cannon goes to the line. We're tied at 41. puts East Brunswick on top.
And Timmy Cannon right at his average right now, 10 points.
So Cannon hits 2 critical free throws.
I got him for 14. Eight foul shots.
Okay.
Bears by 2, 43-41. Clock down to 2:15. Quinones, little stutter step. And no bucket.
And no shot either. Excuse me, no. Quinones will not go to the foul line. He thinks he does.
Foul is on Berliner.
Before the shot.
Right, and Matt picks up his 4th.
Edmonds had some thoughts about it. You know, Quinones isn't bashful. Marciniak.
Oh.
And he ties it at 43. 2 minutes left in the game.
Other than Quinones, Marciniak's the only one that wants to shoot outside.
Berliner, Glover, won't go. Kutza, who's been quiet of late. Berliner spins and he's traveled. Tied at 43 as Quinones looks for some help.
They got to stop him here.
Looks underneath, Berliner knocks it away.
Oh, went off.
And it went off Edmonds.
Yes, wow.
And Bill Leahy's wondering where's the foul. Thought Berliner was leaning on Edmonds.
Phillips is going to come in for Glover.
No, I think East Brunswick got a break on that one.
O'Neill calling out the play, 1:20 remaining.
You got to think they're going to looking for Richie Kutza.
O'Neill looking for someone at the moment, finds Berliner. Court is starting to become wide open.
You think East Brunswick might be waiting for one here?
58 seconds. O'Neill to Berliner. Kutza now with it, looks underneath.
And
he's hammered. O'Neill by Marciniak.
I think they were going to give the foul up there if they had to.
43 seconds showing, and we're tied at 43.
What do you got on O'Neill, Phil? 50% from the line, 13 for 26 this year. Okay.
And Kevin O'Neill's played a fine all-around game as we get a timeout here. And
are we going to listen on Bo?
Yeah, we'll listen in on Bo.
They got a new player in the game too. Make sure we're matched up, right? 30's back in the game. I'll try and help you with the matchups. Huh? No, not yet. I'll help you with the matchups when we go out there. Okay? Kenny, we have 2 timeouts. Okay. We still have 2 timeouts if we need them, all right? It's going to come down to our defense. It's going to come down to our defense. Tell you what, after O hits the second foul shot, we're going to go a little 24. It's okay if the ball comes in front of you. I just want to keep them under pressure.
Don't gamble,
okay?
right?
No stupid gambles. We just play real tough. Got that? All right. No second shot. Okay? We get possession, push it up the court, get it into the offensive end, and go spread if we're ahead, right? If you need a timeout, you use it. Okay? All right, let's go. Come on. Come on, guys. Team now.
okay, Bo using a little psychology there. He says after O hits the second foul shot, confident of Kevin O'Neill, that Kevin O'Neill will hit him. And these are big shots, gentlemen.
All right, O'Neill will step up to the, up to the line, 43 seconds, and we're tied at 43. He'll get another. Uses the glass,
Off
but it
the
counts.
glass.
Hey, just like a point guard should.
Okay, you got some full court pressure here.
40 seconds. Bears by 1, 44-43. Marciniak has it taken away. Glover.
Wow. Oh, he's by himself.
Oh,
Yes!
and it goes.
Still
No
makes it.
foul. Big play there by Glover.
There's still a lot of time here now.
Puts the Bears up by 3, 46-43. 20 seconds.
They got to be looking for a three-pointer here.
White won't go. Tap. Controlled by O'Neal.
There you go.
8 seconds.
Got a foul. Woodbridge has to foul.
And a foul Szymanski with 2 seconds remaining.
And I think that's going to do it.
I'm sure that's going to do it again. Kareem Glover, a 5'10 sophomore, coming up with probably the biggest steal certainly tonight. I don't know if it's of his career, and going down and putting up the basket there. And that may be the difference, gentlemen.
Yes. And are they looking for a timeout here? I think East Brunswick will call timeout.
Green time.
All right, Phil, purpose of timeout here.
The purpose for the timeout here is not to do anything simple. We can listen in to Bo, and I'm sure that's what he's going to tell the team.
I want you to miss the second one purposely by hitting the rim. You got me? After you make the first one, okay? Hit the rim, though.
Gotta hit the rim.
All right. Now, defensively right here, we are going to be back here at the half court, okay? So I guess, you know, basically we're playing like 23, a little further up. 23 defense, okay? Know the situation. If Nick drops the first one, we can't get hurt, right? He's going to miss it on purpose. It's going to take at least 2 seconds to score. If for some reason Nick should miss the first, which he won't, if for some reason Nick should miss the first one, you get right by your
Trying to
man.
make the second one, or is he still trying to miss it if he missed the first one?
He only gets a 1-and-1. It's a 1-and-1. Yeah, now listen to me. Get right by your man.
Let's go, fellas.
Okay, I tell you, a little more to his strategy. He's saying, of course, make
confused.
the first one. If you make the first one, miss the second one, and run some time off the clock. It's still going to take 2 seconds.
Well,
Yeah, it would take enough time.
the
I'm
clock
saying
won't
make-
start until
I'm
it hits
saying
the
make
rim
the shots.
on the second one.
And he
that's
probably
it.
does.
47-43, 4 points.
So
And he's been ordered to miss this one. Let's see if he follows it.
has to hit the rim. And look, Woodbridge is not ready. Well, they're not in good shape anyway.
That ball is live now, and that'll do it.
That's the
Oh,
game.
1 second remaining.
It's amazing that only 1 second came off the clock.
And this is the home clock keeper here. We got to check that out.
Someone needs to talk to Kenny.
At another time.
And now,
Well, I'm not sure I've ever seen 4 points scored. Well, yes, I guess it is possible. You can get a 4-point play here.
Someone would
Oh,
have
you-
to be silly enough to foul you.
Yeah, exactly.
right.
While you're attempting a 3-point play.
So what we might see is all 5 East Brunswick players on this side of the court.
they'll be in the locker room
It would
at
make
this
sense. They really ought to just sit on the bench.
point. Let
Well,
them take the shot, yeah.
I wanted to just look at the schedule real quickly, John. With this win, so let's assume that they're going to win. That'll bring the record now to 4-7, so they have a modest 2-game winning streak. First time they put together 2 wins all season long. They will go on to Piscataway, I believe, next Tuesday night, and then return home Thursday for a game against Bishop Bar, not a bad club, and then an important game against Perth Amboy
Which we'll cover here.
again. And we have to reiterate, they have to win all the games. And look at them just stand there.
Nothing to do. The shot at the buzzer won't go. In the final here at East Brunswick High School, the Bears win it 47-43. And that second half really brought some excitement back to this gymnasium.
And a nice victory for the East Brunswick Bears.
Well, a nice
They needed
victory
one.
and a necessary win, as we talked about for Bo Henning. These teams are pretty evenly matched. One time or another, one looked like they tried to give it to the other, but nevertheless, the Bears did prevail, and with some clutch playing down this stretch.
And some nice point scoring, as we mentioned, by Richie Kutza with a 21-point effort. Timmy Cannon, hey, what can you say? On the foul line again. I have him missing just twice and converting on 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 of 10 from the foul line. So he has been an important player for East Brunswick from the foul line. He had 3 other field goals, so that gives him a total of 14 points. Robert Evans played a very strong game for Woodbridge with 12 points. Quinones had 10. Well, there was a lot of even distribution of scoring. Earl White had 6 points. Marciniak had 6. Whitner 6 points, and Mans had 1. And just for East Brunswick, Glover with that important bucket at the end there, a 2-pointer. Hockman with 2 points, Szymanski with 5, and O'Neill with 3. And that closes it out.
Well, East Brunswick improves their record to 4-7. Woodbridge falls to 3-8. And we'll be back with you on Channel 8 here next week when East Brunswick entertains Perth Amboy. But until then, for Phil Hill and Jim Allender, I'm John Meggiolaro saying thanks for being with us.